You're a little bit of a misunderstanding. I'm James.
Names are for tombstones, baby. You guys take them out back and waste them.
Waste them. Is that a good thing?
You give in and cry. Say live and let die. Live and let die. Live and let die. Live and let die.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Real Screen Team. I'm Major Thomas. I'm here with fellow James Bond, Christopher Johnson.
Hello, everyone.
We decided to go over the first Roger Moore movie, Live and Let Die.
Yes, one that started a whole new era for James Bond. And one, I actually think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Still not Roger Moore's best, but definitely very good.
Want to get into the overview?
Okay. Live and Let Die is a 1973 spy film based on the 1954 novel of the same name written by Ian Fleming. The film was produced by Harry Saltzman and Albert R. Broccoli and directed by Guy Hamilton. The script was written by Tom Mankiewicz. The film stars Roger Moore in his first film as James Bond, replacing Sean Connery after Connery declined to continue playing the role for the second time. This also stars alongside Roger Moore, Yaphet Kotto, Jane Seymour, and Geoffrey Holder.
Want to get the synopsis?
Sure. When Bond investigates the murders of three fellow agents, he finds himself a target evading vicious assassins as he closes in on a powerful Caribbean dictator, Dr. Kananga, known on the streets as Mr. Big. Kananga is coordinating a global threat using tons of self-produced heroin. As Bond tries to unravel the mastermind's plan, he meets Solitaire, a beautiful tarot card reader whose magic is crucial to Kananga.
I thought Roger Moore did great on his first debut.
Yeah, it definitely a very solid performance.
Yeah. I felt a little bit of Sean Connery.
Yeah. There were definitely some elements of Connery that they were still writing for this era that I don't really think it fits Roger Moore's interpretation of Bond. You know, definitely some of the times where he is interacting with Solitaire, it definitely feels Connery-esque. You know, him trying to get with her and everything, but other than that, there's definitely some great moments where you really feel that Roger Moore, it's definitely gelling well with him.
Yeah.
You know, definitely his witty one-liners and even some of the action that he does.
Yep.
But with talking about Bond, should we get into the Bond girl?
Yeah, we should.
Okay. Jane Seymour as Solitaire. I actually like her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her. Maybe she's not as, like, a bit more action-y involved. Even though I do have to give Jane Seymour some credit because during that bus chase, she was in that bus. And that was going very fast with a lot of heavy turns and everything, and the fact that she did not get hurt doing that, all the credit in the world. What did you think of Solitaire?
I thought she was good, but now realizing who she was originally supposed to be, like a black woman.
Yeah! That's
Makes
the big
things
one.
awkward. Yeah.
Yeah, in the books, Solitaire is supposed to be black, and Rosie Carver is supposed to be white. And originally, before they decided to switch the races of the roles, Harry Saltzman and Albert Broccoli, they were actually thinking about getting Diana Ross to play Solitaire. And that does make me wonder, what would have the film been like if it had been Diana Ross instead of Jane Seymour?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Jane Seymour did good, especially with how early in her career this is.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny that Roger Moore said that she was kind of taking this a bit too seriously compared to everyone else. He, there was a little bit of light teasing of just calm down, calm down. This is supposed to be fun. But I do like the character, and especially with the whole idea that, does this prove that voodoo is real in the James Bond universe?
I guess so.
Because her predictions before she sleeps with Bond are correct. Very correct. So, that's some weird things. Especially with another character that we have to talk about.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the Bond girl. Should we go into everyone else in MI6?
Yes.
Well, once again, Bernard Lee as M, and Lois Maxwell as Miss Moneypenny. Yeah, they're nice for what we get to see them, and they're kind of technically the Q in this one because Q's not in the film. Why do you not have Desmond Llewellyn in this film? I feel cheated. I feel kind of cheated here. But, Moneypenny gives Bond the major gadget that he uses in this film, and it is his special custom-made watch.
Yeah.
That is mainly a high-functioning magnet. And also, should we go into the other thing that it does in the film?
Yeah, why not?
It turns into a buzzsaw. They never explained that to James, that it was able to do that. How did he know it could turn into a buzzsaw? How? When did he know that this was a function? I mean, was this based off of another watch that he have? I mean, explain, movie, explain. But, hey, I like his interactions with M and Moneypenny, especially with this being their first interactions, and the fact that they go to James's home this time. Yeah, he's not in the MI6 office. They went to him. And it's also kind of funny that Moneypenny has to help him hide the female agent that was spending the night with him. I like the bit of the interactions Roger Moore's Bond has with Moneypenny. It's less flirty or overt flirty as like Connery was, or even Lazenby, which you'll see later. I mean, what did you think?
I thought their interactions were pretty good. They act like he's always been Bond.
And also, poor Roger Moore, the fact that he didn't get a really grand or gravitas introduction as Bond.
No.
Yeah. I mean, Connery with that really cool, appearance in the casino, playing Baccarat. George Lazenby with his gravitas, driving to the beach, saving Tracy, and we keep him in the shadows as he's fighting people up until you show his face, him saying, "My name is Bond, James Bond," and then Roger Moore asleep. Why you gonna do my man like that? This is his first introduction to Bond, and that's how you do him. But I guess they were trying to wipe off some of the stank of Lazenby, I guess.
Yeah.
But, hey, Bernard Lee and Lois Maxwell, loyal till the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, should we also go into his other ally?
Like Felix.
Yep. Another Felix Leiter, played by David Hedison.
He did fine.
Yeah, he's fine. Doesn't really get to do too much,
Yeah.
but, you know.
At least he doesn't die like most of his associates.
Yeah. It's rough, man. But I did like this Felix. Still not as good as Jack Lord or Cecil Lender,
Yeah.
you know, from Dr. No and Goldfinger,
Yeah.
but it's still good.
Yeah.
And now we get into the big one. The main villain himself. Yaphet Kotto as Dr. Kananga, aka Mr. Big. Yaphet Kotto was fantastic. He really was. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And the fact of one of the unique things is he's still the only black villain in the James Bond franchise. I find that weird.
Yeah.
I wonder, is there any reason why to that? I mean, what? Or is it...
Well, nowadays it...
What, a sensitivity involving ethnicity of characters?
Yeah. Currently, yeah.
I mean, come on. I think we should have another villain that is black. It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Especially with how things have changed compared to how it was back in the 70s.
Yep.
But I really enjoy Dr. Kananga because he has that air of cool, but also this air of diabolical and actually kind of downright intimidating.
Yeah.
And the fact that he is so many steps ahead of everyone. So many steps ahead. I mean, Felix and the CIA are trying to listen in on his conversations. He already has a tape recorder playing, so everybody can change from their usual nice attire to their other very nice attire. I mean, man already has everything set up for his drug trade. He's got
his killing business.
Yes, and he has so many people working around him, making sure it goes smoothly.
Yeah.
I mean, just fantastic. Now, the idea of him disguising himself when he's Mr. Big.
Yeah, he plays two different characters in
Yeah. I don't fully understand why that was a thing. What was it, trying to add an additional air of mystery of who both of them are? Because, I mean, were you surprised when you were surprised when he took it off?
Yeah, I thought he was a different guy.
Wow. Huh. Well, I guess the first time I saw it, I was like, something's not right about him. Something's up. I know he's working with Kananga, but something's up. And then, it is Kananga.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay, I'll give you that. That was actually an interesting reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Though I still don't fully understand why he had to do that. I guess, because he's a foreign diplomat, he doesn't want to be connected to that. But he has diplomatic immunity. What can they do? But, of course, Kananga also has to have his henchmen and associates. such as Tee Johnson, played by Julius W. Harris. This is the time period in which every henchman has to have a gimmick. And for him, Robot Claw Hand. Because apparently, he runs, what? Was it an alligator or crocodile farm?
I thought it was crocodile.
Yeah, crocodile farm. And apparently, one day he lost his hand. So they decided to give him an upgrade with this awesome mechanical claw-like hand. And apparently it's rather sharp because he was this close to cutting off Bond's finger. I mean, what did you think of Tee?
That was pretty entertaining.
And he looked so cool in his red suit.
Yeah.
And he gave Bond a very formidable fight at the end of the film.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable. Of course, would you really call him a henchman or just an associate?
I don't know.
Jeffrey Holder as Baron Samedi. In my opinion, the most entertaining part of this whole film. He is so charismatic and funny with just all his mannerisms and, you know, his incredible laugh. And the fact that he's also very mysterious because we really don't know too much about him. And the fact that, is this man also truly a voodoo spirit? Because at one point he has a fight with Bond. We see him fall into a casket of snakes and he's presumed to be dead, but at the end of the film he's sitting on the front of the train laughing. And then, because this is continuity, in the N64 game GoldenEye, he's an additional villain in some of the side missions, not pertaining to the main game, which is based off of the film itself, where you play it from the start to end. He's an additional villain you fight in side missions. So, is he really... Does this prove that voodoo is even more real? I mean, your thoughts?
But maybe voodoo is real. I don't know.
But what are your thoughts on Baron Samedi?
He was entertaining with the makeup.
And also the man did have drip when he wasn't in the makeup.
Yeah.
He did have drip. I wish the fight between him and Bond would have been a bit more epic. I mean, we get slight struggle punch. Oh no! Oh no, I'm getting eaten by snakes. Come on, man. That could have been much cooler, and him with his machete and everything, and he could have used additional kind of voodoo-like things to try to stop Bond or attack him with, because this man was controlling like scarecrows all over the island, and he had a lifelike sculpture of himself that Bond shot. Oh, that's not really him. Huh. Okay, there's another one. Oh, that's him. Could have been cooler. Another henchman of Dr. Kananga, Whisper, played by Earl Jolly Brown. He's interesting. I mean, him talking like this, truly having a whisper with him talking. And apparently he's one of the few henchmen Kananga has that doesn't die. All he gets is just being trapped in a missile case. And also, unfortunately, his chair got destroyed by the shark gun. I mean, what did you think of Whisper?
It was very entertaining.
And also, we have to give a major shout out to Arnold Williams as the cab driver. That guy is fantastic. He's equally as entertaining as Kananga and Samity. I want more of that guy. I wish he had shown up more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what were your thoughts?
Thought he was good.
And I guess we go into the other Bond girl.
Yeah.
That she was a CIA agent, but I guess she was a double agent?
I guess so.
Yeah. Gloria Hendry as Rosie Carver. And interestingly enough, she is actually the first black woman James Bond actually has, a romantic scene with.
Mm-hmm.
And find that very interesting, despite the fact we've had black Bond girls since the Connery era. So,
yeah.
But what did you think of Rosie?
I felt like she was more underdeveloped since we never understand her, and she was scared.
Yeah.
Scared that she got herself killed.
Yeah, that, and I think she's a bit over her head as a CIA agent. How in the world did this woman make it through training? But I mean, she was a good character, but yeah, very underdeveloped, and it's kind of messed up how she got taken out.
Mm-hmm.
Scarecrow bullet.
Mm-hmm.
Though, if they had that, why didn't they use that on Bond earlier in the film? What, was it a one-shot? But anyway, why don't we go into some more of the good?
Yeah.
The plot was fantastic. I mean, Kananga wanting to take over the world with drugs. Talk about master of puppets.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the acting was fantastic. Very solid performance by Roger Moore. Doing the best he can with the fact that they haven't written Bond to more of his strengths as an actor, but with what he was given, fantastic. Of course, Yaphet Kotto as Dr. Kananga, just fantastic. Jeffrey Holder's Baron Samedi. I think everyone was kind of really on their A game with this film. They really were. The fight scenes were great, though maybe not as well choreographed as the Connery era. I mean, some of Connery's fights. I mean, whether it was with Red Grant or whether it was against that Spectre agent that was dressed as the Widow in Thunderball. Some of those fights, the fight in Diamonds Are Forever in the elevator, those fantastic. While with Roger Moore, his fights don't get to go as long.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a one hit with Samedi. While he did have a good fight with Teehee, he had a nice little struggle with Kananga, but it wasn't a full-on fight.
Turned into a balloon.
Oh, God. We'll get into that.
The music.
Lord have mercy, the music is fantastic in this, because not only do we have quite possibly one of the greatest theme songs ever performed by Paul McCartney and Wings, the score and other music is done by, would you call him the fifth Beatle or the sixth Beatle?
Probably the fifth Beatle.
Sir George Martin.
Yeah.
The man that was right in Abbey Road, recording and mixing all of the Beatles' music. They just fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm still surprised that of all the Bond films, you didn't seek this one out because of how big of a Beatles fan you are.
I know.
You have Paul McCartney and Wings, and you have George Martin all making music for this film. But fantastic. Definitely on the same league as John Barry, the usual composer for the films. Also, I love the dark, mysterious voodoo atmosphere of this film. It really is, cool and unique, because no other film really feels like this. And also the locations. I think this is one of the few Bond films where we have so many different locations, where so many different things are happening involving the main villain's plot. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's got everything he's doing in New York, mainly in the Bronx. He's got everything going down in New Orleans. And he has his main home in San Monique, where he's the foreign diplomat for and dictator. And it seems like he has so many different people running this whole thing, making it feel so smoothly, especially when he has his various assassins killing off various agents. Mm-hmm. I mean, in New York, he somehow had this high frequency thing that just utterly scrambled the brain of one of the United Kingdom's diplomats. In New Orleans, he just has this nice older fellow, well-dressed, watching a funeral procession. Whose film is it? Yours. Just stabbed him in the side, and then they have the special casket that picks up the body, and then everybody's having their nice Mardi Gras-esque parade. And the least convincing snake bite ever with that one guy that's in that voodoo cult place that Samity's in control of. Could they have not done a better convincing snake bite? Couldn't they? And before I forget, we forgot one other ally for Bond.
Clifton James. Right.
No. Coral Jr. Mm-hmm. Played by Roy Stewart. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we almost forgot about Coral, and I feel bad about that, because he doesn't have too much to do, but he is very instrumental. He helps get Bond to San Monique, and he's the one that sets up the detonation of Kananga's heroin.
Yep.
But see, the reason why he's Coral Jr. is because they filmed the books out of order. Mm-hmm. So Coral was supposed to be in this one and live to the end, and then Dr. No happens later, and that's where he dies. But they already killed off Coral, so but we still need Coral. Why don't we just say he had a son? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just had a son that apparently was doing the same stuff he was doing, working for the CIA and MI6, Okay. Mm-hmm. But I liked him, despite the fact I don't think he even says anything in the film. Very unique, but maybe not as charismatic as the original Coral. And of course, let's not forget Kananga's villain lair. Mm-hmm. Well, one, his main lair in that bar in New York is definitely fantastic. Very atmospheric. Really enjoy it. The main castle in San Monique, very nice. But the main layer, the underground cave with the waterfall and and the river with the shark, and of course, a fully functional monorail!
Mono, don't!
Oh, monorail. Hey, every great villain lair needs to have a monorail. I mean, your thoughts.
Yeah.
I mean, your thoughts on all
like
of his layers.
Yeah, his layers they look good, cool.
And of course, let's not forget Kananga's major gadget, the shark gun, which I'm still kind of confused on. Why does it inflate things it shoots and then it explodes? Is this a thing out involving sharks? Is this a thing? Make them inflate and then explode? Someone explain in the comments. But I do like the shark gun. I like the way it looks. And I guess now we have to go into...
Yeah.
Is this more of a bad or a what?
That depends.
The way Kananga is defeated once and for all, he ends up Bond forces him in swallowing a fully active shark pellet, in which we see this man inflate like a balloon, land in the ceiling, and then explode. One very creative way of defeating a villain, definitely.
Yeah.
Very memorable, but dear God, was it also silly. I mean, and they went in major detail in making that inflated balloon him really look like Yaphet Kotto.
Yeah.
And how does that work? How does that work?
I don't know.
Yeah. Crazy. But, hey, like I said, very memorable. And let's not forget also the airport chase.
Yeah.
That involved Mrs. Bell in the airplane.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah.
Now into the bad. Yes, no Q, which is messed up.
The boat chase.
Jesus Christ, that boat chase. Why did it have to be so long?
Yeah, it was so boring.
Ah, God, that was worse than the underwater scenes in Thunderball. I was more invested and interested in the underwater scenes of Thunderball than this boat chase. I mean, if it had been like for a few good minutes, like how it is in Man with the Golden Gun, I would have been perfectly fine with it. But dear God, how long was this? Like 10 to 15 minutes? Did it have to be that long?
Yep.
And of course, intertwined with all those scenes, we are of course introduced to Sheriff J.W. Pepper, played by Clifton James.
Yeah, why is it really necessary for that?
No, I understand some people enjoy Sheriff Pepper. I'm on the fence. I mean, he is funny. Clifton James is a fantastic actor. Definitely a great character actor, but was he really necessary?
No,
Intertwined
really.
with this and him trying to capture Bond because of his speeding boat, and yeah, it was weird. It was weird.
Yep. So, you want to get into the scores?
Okay.
I give this an 8 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was good. Like I said, minus the boat chase and the lack of Q. Everything else was pretty good up until, except for those 2 points.
For me, I agree with you. I give it an 8 out of 10. It really is a very good film. Very solid introduction for Roger Moore's era. Even though things aren't perfect for Roger Moore's portrayal of Bond yet. And like I said, everyone else did a fantastic job with this film. The acting, the music. It's truly a fun film.
Yeah. If you disagree, follow us on Facebook, The Real Screen Team. Follow us on YouTube, The Real Screen Team. Where else?
You can also find us on Instagram. You can find us on Reddit. And now we're planning on starting to use this. You can also find us on TikTok.
But make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share our videos.
Yes, because we're trying to grow this thing. We're getting close to 140 subscribers.
Yep.
Once we reach 500, major live celebration, and then once we reach 1,000, we'll start a Patreon.
But before we go, we're continuing the Roger Moore James Bond movie with what?
We're going to be discussing The Man with the Golden Gun.
So you want to roll us out?
Well, sure. Well, thank you all for coming and watching us. Definitely come back and watch us again. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It definitely helps. Well, cut, print, that's a wrap.